The book of Proverbs is filled with unsurmountable wisdom, and some of those things are considered common sense now, but there are many things that if we apply them could change our lives drastically. Here are 13 things that I learned from / was reminded by Proverbs. Number 1. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Proverbs 4:23. Basically, home is where the heart is. Wherever your heart is, that's where you will be. Literally, because you need your heart with you to live. If you fill your heart with garbage, don't be surprised when everything around you is garbage. Instead, guard your heart, let love in, or whatever it is that you value, and that's where it will gravitate towards. 2. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One results in good judgment. Proverbs 9:10. I'm gonna make a whole video about exactly what fear of the Lord is, but understanding and grasping this concept truly changes everything. If you can really accept how limited our minds are, how little we actually know about the universe, how wrong we can be about many things that we hold to be true, and trust that God holds all the answers, that's when real valuable wisdom starts to emerge in your life. People who trust in their own wisdom will call you foolish, but that's like a blind man making fun of someone for the way they describe colors. It should hold no weight on your feelings, and it's actually just sad that they can't see the beauty you see. 3. It's foolish to belittle one's neighbor. A sensible person keeps quiet. Proverbs 11:12. In other words, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And that doesn't mean don't say anything negative at all. If it's meant to build someone up or to help them, that's fine, but don't say things that just tear people down. That's a sure way to lose friends, make enemies, and it will be done unto you, and deservedly so. 4. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it's in your power to help them. If you can help your neighbor now, don't say, "Come back tomorrow and then I'll help you." Proverbs 3:27-28. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory and kind of common sense, but in this world where we're so egotistical, it's important to be reminded of this constantly. I mean, I could help him right now, but I could also take a nap. I mean, I freaking deserve a nap. I've been working really hard. Yeah, he probably has other friends. That's filling your heart with just yourself, so don't be surprised when that's all you have. 5. Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. Proverbs 13:3. Some people talk too much. I kind of have the opposite problem of that. At least in real life, maybe here I do speak too much, and it's just much easier to get into trouble for saying the wrong thing than it is for not saying anything at all. If you get the timing right on when to talk, you'll have so many doors open up for you, and that's true control, knowing when to talk and when to stay quiet. 6. Pride goes before destruction, and haughtiness before the fall. Proverbs 16:18. Side note, the haughtiness word I use right there is the synonymous word to arrogant or snobbish, not what you think of when you look at me, haughtiness. This has actually become a very popular, well-known saying, pride goes before the fall, and it's so true. I can see it sometimes instantly because I get very competitive in different competitions or even games, and I start doing good, so I kind of start getting prideful, and because of that I start making mistakes and end up doing horribly. Pride is one of those traits that we hate to see on other people, but we often justify on ourselves. And when that happens, you start believing that there's something inherently better in you, and so you start getting distracted by your own superiority, and so you pay less attention to actually trying hard. Sometimes it's instant, like I mentioned, and other times it's a very slow, long process, but that journey to the inevitable fall often begins with those few steps of pride. That's a very simplistic explanation. There's so much more to it, but for the sake of brevity, let's leave that at that for now. 7. Just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to their friend and then says, "I was only joking." Proverbs 26:18-19. 19. Proverbs 26:18-19 really captured the impact of this proverb. A madman shooting a deadly weapon. I imagine this crazy guy with this crazy white hair sticking up and just shooting a gun everywhere. The madman might not kill anyone, he might not injure anyone, he might not even hit a person, but in that scenario, something always gets destroyed. When you lie to a friend, you're the madman. You're shooting your gun everywhere. You could hurt them very badly, but even if you don't hurt them directly, something always gets destroyed in that relationship. And I was just kidding. Won't change that. 8. Choose a good reputation over great riches. Being held in high esteem is better than silver or gold. Proverbs 22:1. A study I read not too long ago. Oh my god, he reads! I can't believe it! I was actually doing research for a tweet I was about to tweet. Don't judge me. Anyways, this study concluded that a positive subjective well-being, kind of like how happy you feel, depended more on how much people respect you and admire you than how much money you have. My conclusion: do good in the world. It helps the world and it makes you happy. Money is good, but it should never be your #1 priority. 9. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. Proverbs 10:2. Kind of in the same topic, if you make money doing shady things, you might feel happy for a little while, but for the long run, you'll just be filled with regret and the realization that you traded in happiness for cash. And that cash won't buy you happiness. Living honestly can save you so much trouble, and you can still get wealth if you work hard. You get the best of both worlds. I'm sorry I did that. I apologize. 10. To learn, you must love discipline. It is stupid to hate correction. Proverbs 12:1. This one's quite hard to apply because most of us don't like being told that we're wrong. And even when we accept fault, it's very hard to appreciate consequences. But when we learn to appreciate it, that's when we actually learn from our mistakes, when we grow as people, and when we actually move forward in life. We all have those spots in our lives where we kind of don't move, where we plateau, and a lot of times we settle for that. A lot of times that's due to taking consequences as just part of life or bad luck rather than a learning experience. We can always be growing. 11. The human spirit can endure a sick body, but who can bear a crushed spirit? Proverbs 18:14. This is a great explanation for some of those people who seem to have it all. They seem to have everything and yet nothing makes them happy. Also, why you can find people in the most dangerous and poorest places in the world who seem to be the happiest people ever. If you have a hurt spirit, only taking care and nursing back to health that spirit can make you feel better. If you have a healthy spirit, no matter the circumstances, you will feel happy. So just don't neglect the spirit. 12. A bowl of vegetables with someone you love, it's better than a steak with someone you hate. Proverbs 15:17. This is of course assuming that you're not a vegetarian and or prefer vegetables over meat, which is crazy because meat is so good in my mouth and in my belly. This again seems like very common sense, but how often do we gravitate towards people that we don't really like because of their social standing or what we can get out of those relationships? Very often that's the answer, especially in high school, but it does happen in all stages of life. The thing to grasp out of this is that it's not about what the relationship can give you, but what it causes in you. When you truly understand that and apply it, you waste so much less time with people you don't even like and start to develop fruitful relationships with people you actually like having in your life. 13. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Proverbs 24:10. We love to make excuses. It happened because of this, because of that, and while many factors do attribute to failure, ultimately you fail something because you weren't ready for it. Your strength wasn't ready to take on the things that you thought you could. And when you're not strong enough, exercise. If you fail because your strength is too small, that implies that it can grow. It also implies that if it had been bigger, you would not have failed. It's a call to working hard and persistence, which is the basic formula to success. And if you pair that with godly wisdom, there are no longer impossibilities, just untraveled territories. Well, this was way longer than when I started writing it. It's over an hour of footage. I don't know what I'm gonna cut it down to, but you know, it's just very long. I could have made individual videos for each little point, but I did this, and I hope it's of some value to you.
See you later, crocodile.